Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Transform Reporting Experience for Tableau users with Pixel Perfect webinar. I'm Michelle Hauser, the Event Manager here at USEReady, a New York-based data and analytics firm. Thank you so much for joining us for this exciting session. USEReady is not just another data and analytics firm. We're the key to success for Fortune 500 powerhouses in large enterprises. We've recently been recognized as a leader in AIM Research's TIMA Quadrant 2023 for top generative AI service providers, and as the Tableau Partner of the Year, our sixth accolade in this domain. Collaborating closely with Chief Data Officer and Chief Digital and Artificial Intelligence Officers, we unlock the full potential of their data, turning it into a competitive advantage. Our expertise spans visual analytics, business intelligence, decision intelligence, artificial intelligence, and product engineering, covering the entire intelligent enterprise value chain. Every offering is tailored to deliver top-notch, value-driven outcomes for our customers. Let's go ahead and dive into today's webinar and explore how Pixel Perfect for Tableau is transforming the enterprise reporting experience for users. While Tableau excels in visual analytics, creating print-ready reports involves formatting challenges. Pixel Perfect is the solution, transforming dashboards into polished professional reports. No more manual formatting pains or struggles with page breaks. With Pixel Perfect for Tableau, it's as easy as clicking download or hitting a single click print button. Today, we'll hear from our amazing panel all about how Pixel Perfect eliminates the manual madness of enterprise reporting and provides an automated, stress-free reporting experience. We welcome any questions that you may have and have allotted some time at the end of the program to answer them. But please feel free to send them via the Q&A function at any time throughout the webinar. Let's go ahead and introduce our panel for today's webinar. First up, we've got Anirban Ghosh, Senior Director of Products here at USEReady. Anirban brings with him over 10 years of experience in providing enterprise-wide business intelligence products, solutions, and services. His expertise in partnering with customers, business stakeholders, teams of engineers, and designers to help innovate, develop, and shape 0 to 1 product experiences that create value and drive business growth. Joining Anirban today is special guest from Piper Sandler, a Minneapolis-based investment bank. Caden Cruz is a reporting lead at Piper Sandler. He has a background in data analytics with specialties in Tableau, Power BI, SQL, and various CRM platforms. He currently builds and monitors Tableau and Pixel Perfect reports for the banking team. We have a lot in store today, so let's go ahead and get started. So Anirban, can you delve into the enterprise reporting challenges and share a demo of how Pixel Perfect with our audience so that they can see firsthand how it works?
Thank you, Michelle. A warm welcome to everyone. So as you can see here, this is going to be our agenda for the next 20 minutes. We are going to take a look at the business use case behind Pixel Perfect, on why we created Pixel Perfect and what exactly is Pixel Perfect. We are going to take a look at the product demo. Then we're going to hear from Caden, who's going to share with us the business challenge that we had seen at Piper Sandler, and then the Pixel Perfect solution that is currently being implemented, which supports 700 plus banking end users. Then we're going to take a look at the roadmap of the product for the next 4 quarters. And finally, we'll be there to take any live question and answers from you. So without further ado, let's get started. So our journey with Pixel Perfect started in the year 2019. We launched the first version of Pixel Perfect on 13th of November, 2019 at the Tableau conference. And the idea behind Pixel Perfect was to support our customers who were retiring legacy BI tools and wanted to modernize with Tableau. The key reasoning behind was, as you can see in this table, anytime clients were moving out of legacy tools, it could be something like an Hyperion, Cognos, Business Objects, SSRS, Crystal Reports. The reasoning behind moving from these tools to Tableau was that Tableau could meet the visualization and the interactive dashboards, the user friendliness. It was scalable compared to these legacy tools. But there was an area around Tableau when it came to reporting, but that there were some areas that needed some help. Hence, the idea came in to build an extension like Pixel Perfect on top of Tableau, wherein you can get the best of both the worlds. Whether you're looking for visualizations or you're looking for data on the go in the form of reports, with Pixel Perfect, you can get it right then and there within your Tableau dashboard. And the idea, or in a single statement, if you have to summarize, is this. So we know legacy BI tools or platforms are obsolete or more or less dead, and our new age BI users not only need the visualizations, but they also need the data, or they need to be enabled with the data so that they can act on it. That's where Pixel Perfect comes in. In terms of business use cases, whether you have a regulatory and compliance use case, which typically in organizations could have a low distribution. Some of these could be PDF or Word documents. Pixel Perfect can build these templates or reports and enable it on top of your Tableau dashboard. We also have capability where the report could be distributed from within the platform to your end users, your risk and regulatory team members, and they could be spread across the world. And all of these could be managed on a self-service basis. Then on to your executive and management report. Say one of our banking customers, their executive team, and this is the wealth management team that we're working with, they need a report on the go. So for example, this executive director of a bank starts from his home and is planning to go to his Wall Street office. He or she would like to understand the assets under management. They would like to understand if the what happened to their top 10 clients in the last 24 hours. What is the health of their assets? So these kind of reporting, if they need directly to their handheld devices, Pixel Perfect has an ability to distribute these reports at scale. Then coming to your line of business operational reports. Now these reports could be very ad hoc. They tend to be mostly Excel or CSV based, or sometimes it could be even PDF. Now these reports could have any shape, size, and form, but these are the reports that mostly runs the business. They're shared across the organization in different shapes, size, and form. And there's a lot of productivity that is spent just in getting the data and creating the templates. With Pixel Perfect, we can automate the creation of the templates as well as the distribution of the templates. Now, whether you need a daily report or a weekly report or a monthly report, the report could be sitting in your inbox by using Pixel Perfect. Finally, your end user reports. Today, we have customers wherein they have this credit card statement or their asset statement at the end of the month that needs to be distributed to them via an secured and via an secured means. With Pixel Perfect now, you can send out these reports to hundreds, tens of thousands of users, and these reports could be sent in any preferred output format. Let's take a look at some of these use cases and let's experience how the tool works. So I'm going to take you to my Tableau environment and showcase the tool in action. And again, like Michelle said, please feel free to ask all your questions. We will take each and every question towards the end of around 35 to 40 minutes of the webinar. So I hope you all can see my screen. So here is a Tableau dashboard by the name Charge Outs Total. And as you can see here in this dashboard, we have these buttons. Now, these are the Pixel Perfect buttons. Once the product is enabled on your environment, you can do just a single click, and this should grab all the data from the dashboard per the row level entitlement, and it should be able to give me a report in a few seconds. Now, in this particular workbook, you will see that this is the first dashboard. The dashboard one has a cross tab at the top, and then a second cross tab at the bottom of my screen, and this has a scroll bar. And then at the top, I have a few filters. And inside this workbook by the name Pixel Perfect Demo Dashboard version 2, this is my first dashboard, Charge Outs Total. I also have a second dashboard called Charge Outs by Site. I see that if you see the report has just gotten downloaded. This is my second dashboard. This has one cross tab at the top and a couple of charts. And then there's a third dashboard within the same workbook by the name View Headcount. Essentially, they're all slices of the same data set or the data source. In today's world, what we typically see is after you build the dashboard, a lot of extra thought has to be put in to get a report out of the same Tableau platform. Where the intent was to just build the dashboard and also get a similar report, but the reporting aspect is not met. So if I go to an out-of-the-box reporting capability here, what I could get best is a cross tab. But if I try to download the cross tab from this view, if I just click on any of these views, if I click on download, you will see that we get the data, but we lose the format, right? And that's typically the pain point in this particular use case. Now, where Pixel Perfect can come in is, you saw I clicked on this one button and this downloaded the file. Now I'm going to click on this file, and you will see within a few seconds, we will get an imprint of the same data with the same look and feel within an Excel file. So this is the exact download of the data. Let me click on enable editing. Now, if you see this export, it has 3 tabs. This is my first dashboard with the header, the logo, and then we have been able to bring in the filters. A lot of times we heard or hear from our customers that, Anirban, I had a few filters on my dashboard, but when I selected the filters onto my report, I was not able to bring in my filters and I forgot what I had chosen. So in this case, we are able to bring in the filters and then the cross tab one below the other. And this, the number of rows and columns, there's no limitation. You can bring in any number of data points onto the Excel file. And most importantly, these are not images. If you want to take some note, if you want to build a model by ingesting this data into another tool, you can build on top of it. And then if I move on to the second tab, now this is the second dashboard wherein we had a cross tab and 2 charts. And then I had the third tab with the third cross tab. Now, this way, within one single click, when I clicked on this button, I was able to bring in data not only from this one dashboard, but also from dashboard number 2 and dashboard number 3. And we brought it into one single Excel file. Now, there are 2 to 3 pain points of typical enterprise customers using Tableau that we have solved by using this one single click. First and foremost, within one single click, we were able to get the formatted data onto an Excel file. The second is we were not only able to bring in the data, but we are able to bring in the charts as well. The third pain point is we are able to bring in data from multiple dashboards onto one single file, right? And build this consolidated data packs. The fourth piece is around cosmetics. We could bring in or enhance or make modifications to the headers, meaning if you want to add some text, if you want to play with the logo, if you want to customize where you want to place the filters, if you want to even customize where you want to place cross tab 1, if you want the cross tab 1 at the top or at the bottom, or if you want to even break this report into multiple, or if you want to break this 3 tabs into 3 different reports, all those customizations are possible using Pixel Perfect. And this particular use case, will label it under the Pixel Perfect for operational reports category. Right? Now we'll move on to the second bucket of use cases where Pixel Perfect can effectively support. Now this use case, I'm going to label it under the second bucket of regulatory and compliance use cases. Now regulatory and compliance teams, whether they're internal to the organization or whether they're external to the organization, while they might like Tableau, but when it comes to their reporting, they're very, very specific how they want their reports to look like. And these reports tend to have a very legacy look and feel. Say, for example, this particular organization, right? So this is a pharmaceutical company. This particular use case is from a pharmaceutical company who build consumer goods and medical devices, and they have facilities all across the world. Now, their data, even though it comes from, they have a backend Redshift data source. And then while they like this Tableau view, where they're able to take a look at each and every facility, what is their health, what was the inspection results, if everything is working fine, if the facility is working at full capacity, if the facility is healthy enough to continue business. So while all this Tableau view is great for them, but their risk team, which is spread across the world, needs a report like this. And if you saw here, I clicked on this one button, and within a couple of seconds, I got this Pixel Perfect report from the same data set in the shape and form that the risk team wanted, right? We see here, this is a typical form-based report. Essentially, what's happening within the report is, while there's a header section comprising of the name of the report, the date and time, the number of records, there's the filters. Essentially, there is a site information broken up into hierarchical manner. There's the approval information, there's the inspection information of who inspected the site. And finally, there is this section which talks about the health of this site, whether it's good to continue business for the business day. Now, these kind of reports, which were previously built using tools like Cognos or Hyperion, can now be easily migrated to Pixel Perfect, and putting on the visualization piece could now be brought to Tableau using this simple extension called Pixel Perfect. And again, risk and compliance reports could be any shape, size, and form. We have worked with businesses who wanted to support their regulatory needs, whether it be a Dodd-Frank report or a LIBOR report, or be supporting an sanctions inspection, or they're doing a look back engagement on AML. Any such reporting use cases can be supported by Pixel Perfect. Now note, our product Pixel Perfect can be used for Tableau Server as well as Tableau Cloud. As an organization, and also the product is SOC 2 compliant, we are ISO certified, as well as we are HIPAA compliant, which means this product is compliant to be deployed inside your premise and can work within your firewall. Or if you want, we can also host the product for you. The product works like to like for Tableau Cloud as well as Tableau Server. Okay, so that's the second category of the bucket of use case around regulatory and compliance report. Now let's take a look at an executive or leadership report. So here what you will see is a dashboard from a FinServ organization. Now this dashboard has an vertical shape to it. So what's happening within this dashboard, as it loads, you will see is there is data from a wealth management firm. So this particular organization is a Fortune 100 organization. They have about 20,000 plus team members inside the wealth management team. And all the wealth management team not only need the visualization, they also need the data on the go, and they need this data to be available to them on a self-service basis. So this dashboard, as it loads, you will see that we have data around assets under management at the top. There are a few KPIs at the top around total revenue, total profit, the net assets. Then we have information about the breakup of these assets by region. Then we have data around the product mix. Now, the use case here is that how can we get all the data from this particular dashboard and break it up into a PDF file, which the end users can consume it via the handle device, right? So what we did, again, within few clicks, you will see within one single click, once this PDF generates, it will give us something like this. And this single dashboard from Tableau gets converted into this PDF file, which runs across 9 pages. And if you'll see here on the home page, we have given on the cover page, we have the name, date and time the report is generated. And then we have brought in the KPIs that we have on the dashboard, all the KPIs that we have on the dashboard. We gave one single page for each KPI. The idea behind was this. So this person who's consuming the reports here on the handle device, they can simply click on the KPI or click on the hyperlink and get to the first KPI, which is a change year over year. Here we see they're able to consume the data behind assets under management. They take a look at the total revenue, the profits, asset inflows, outflows, the client count. And then once they're happy with it, they can simply click on this hyperlink that we have given the footer section. They can click on the hyperlink and get to the next KPI, say change month over month. Again, they can consume this data. And this way, they can move across this particular PDF file, right? That's typically what we mean by enabling the modern BI users, not only with visualizations, but also enabling with the data so that they can act upon it, right? So that's another use case for a leadership or an executive leadership or management report. Now, this is just in PDF. We could have also built something in PowerPoint or any other popular format. Today, Pixel Perfect supports PDF, PowerPoint, Word, CSV, Excel. We also plan to open up or enable HTML reports too, if there's a business use case. Next, we'll move on to the fourth category, which is called end user reports. So this is another asset management firm based out of APAC that we are currently working with. They have about 60,000 users who need to get a report at the end of the month around the assets that they're holding. So on the Tableau platform wise, this is kind of the summary dashboard where this particular client can go to their embedded Tableau platform, take a look at their assets. And this particular organization supports high net worth individuals. So even a small percentage change is a big change for them. So most of them, this is a view that that they get to see in the embedded platform. And then they have another view wherein they can dive in and look into the details, right? What is the breakup of their assets, whether it's equity, whether it's mutual fund, whether it's equity managed or it's managed assets. And again, all of their assets are diversified into various geographies. The end result that they want to see is a report like this. As you can see here, within one click, Pixel Perfect can generate a report like this. Here, as you can see, is in PDF. Here we have brought in the data from this multiple um, dashboards that they have. And then we have brought in this cover page. And obviously, we can bring in your branding. We can add in watermarks to the report. And then here we have a cover page. There's an executive summary page with information on the clients. Then we have the table of content with hyperlink. And then we have the data that is coming straight from Tableau. There's the summary view from the Tableau dashboard. And then we have the detailed view from the same dashboard. Also, as you can see, we can play with the aesthetics and the brightness and the resolution. We can also configure on the shape and size of this report format. For example, someone says, I need the report to be in landscape format. I need the report to be easily printable, or I need the report to be in a 10 by 13 paper size. All those pieces could be customized using Pixel Perfect. So this is a use case from the fourth bucket, which is end user reporting. So I'm going to take ourselves back to this slide and do a quick summary of what we have seen till now. So we have seen, or we have taken a look at Pixel Perfect from the lens of a consumer of the product. We have taken a look at the regulatory and the compliance use case. We have taken a look at a use case from the executive management report. We have taken a look at an operational use case, and we have taken a look at an end user report. Now, let's try and take an overview of the features that the tool provides. So feature-wise, we have broken up our features into two categories. First category, we have called it Pixel Perfect On Demand. So within Pixel Perfect On Demand, we promise to be able to give the end users a single-click print-ready report available in PDF, PowerPoint, Excel, CSV, or Word format. That's the experience that we just saw. If you click on a button, you can get a report of your choice. Second, if you need a paginated PDF report, we have a capability where you can just configure a report within a few clicks and you will get a paginated PDF report out of it. Then, if you wanted a cross-tab Excel report, we just saw an example, you can have any number of rows and columns, and within one click, you can get a report out of Pixel Perfect. Then, if you wanted to retain the headers, tables, listings, and footer in certain shape and form, and you want to customize it, Pixel Perfect can allow you to do it. Then if you wanted to create a customizable data packet, and we saw an example where we had 3 Excel tabs within one single file coming from different dashboards, this kind of packets could be easily built using Pixel Perfect. Finally, Pixel Perfect allows us to do scale distribution. Now you can take the same report that you've seen in an example, and we can send out the reports to tens of thousands of users. And all of this within a self-service on a self-service basis. Now let me show you the distribution piece of Pixel Perfect. So I'm going to take you back to my Tableau environment. And now we are going to see or take a look at Pixel Perfect from the lens of an creator or someone who's going to distribute this report. So in order for you to create, configure, design, or distribute, you need to be a creator or at least an explorer. Now, once you're a creator and explorer, as you can see, obviously I was able to open the dashboard in the edit mode. And once I'm able to open the dashboard in the edit mode, I can interact with this extension. So this is how the Pixel Perfect extension looks from the backend. Now, by interacting with the extension means that you can now add a new report, you can now configure a new report, or you can now distribute a report. In order for you to do any of these activities, what you'll have to do is you have to go to the backend. And then once this extension loads, you'll have to click on this right click and then click on this configure button. Once you click on the configure button, Within a couple of seconds, another browser-based UI will open. Now, this is our gateway to interact with Pixel Perfect. So, interaction with Pixel Perfect starts from the configuration of the report. So here we are given capability where you can design a report template. This is step one. Once you've designed that report template, we have given 6 steps wherein you can pick and choose any reporting format of your choice, whether it be PDF, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, HTML, CSV. And then you will select the report template that you have just designed, which is already saved in the repository. Then obviously it will be tied to the dashboard. So the tool is intelligent to know for which dashboard it was designed. Then you will assign it the data from the typical worksheet. So this particular template, say this particular template, the data comes from this particular worksheet. So I'm going to assign it to you. And then if I want to add an image from the Tableau dashboard, I can associate or align it to it. If not, I can just skip it. And then I would give it any meaningful name, right? At that point, the configuration process of the template is complete, or the certification process of the template is complete. At this point, this template is good to be used by anyone within your organization. Now, once this template has been configured, the next step is now to disseminate the information or to distribute the information. So at this step, what I could do is I could now select this template that we have just set up. And this template that we set up was in Excel format, or it could be in any other popular format. In this case, this is set up in PDF format. Now I could select the template, and here I can start playing with the already certified template. I could customize how I want the report name to look like. I could choose to append date, time to the report name, or I could even add a password to the report. So for the purpose of the demo, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to say that, okay, I'm happy with this name as is. And then now I can start distributing the report. So we have multiple options of distribution. The first and the most preferred one is bursting. So when you do a select burst, you can click on configuration. And once I click on configuration, this is where I get to see all my Tableau users and groups. They're already set up in the system. Right? So this is the users and groups already set up in my sandbox that I'm currently working on today. So in this sandbox, I see the biggest group that I have is 101 people. Now say this is a group that I'm going to use on a daily basis. So I'm going to call it daily report users, and I'm going to give my initials. I'm going to save this group with the intent that I'm going to use this group on a daily basis. The mapping is saved. So now anytime I need to distribute the report, I can simply select this name and do a selection, and then I can pick and choose the frequency of the report. I could say that every single morning on a daily basis, I want the report to go out, or I could say I want the report to go out on a weekly basis, or I could say that I want the report to go out on a monthly basis. So each and every variation that we might think of within enterprise should be supported using this functionality. Or I could also say, okay, I want the report to go out in the next 5 minutes. It's 12 p.m. EST. I'm going to say I want the report to go out at 12:05. And then I'm going to say instead of AM, I want it to go out PM. And then here we also can have the report to be dropped in an SFT endpoint, or I could have the report be directly sent via email. I could add a subject line like test report, and I can keep it simple. I can say just please find attached. We can be a little bit elaborate as well. And then I can hit on save. As soon as I hit on save, the report is now sent out to those 101 users. Obviously, once the report is sent out, you want to keep an eye on the health of this job or health of the report. So if you see here, this is where under the jobs tab, we get to see this particular report that has been scheduled to go out at 12:05 p.m. And if I expand on this, I get to see the dashboard, the workbook, the images, the worksheet aligned to this report. And once the report is successful, if I click on job history, it will also tell me if the report was successfully sent or not. Let me pick up an old report. If I click on job history here, you will see the report was sent to these individuals. This report was sent to these individuals at 10:30 a.m. So that's how we've envisioned the distribution piece of Pixel Perfect. Again, on a self-service basis from within the Tableau dashboard itself. And this functionality we have opened up to the explorers or the creators. Let me take ourselves back to our dashboard and do a quick recap of what we have seen. So we saw the on-demand functionalities, and we just saw the scale distribution functionalities. And like we have seen, we can now distribute the report to any number of Tableau users or groups via email, or we could even drop it to a network drive. And this is all on a self-service basis. And like I said, the product is security compliant. All the technical capabilities for you to scale the product. It's highly available. There's multiple node support. And the best part is there is seamless integration with Tableau. For your end users, they don't have to log into any other UI, any other tool. They will come to the Tableau dashboard and simply click on the button to get the report of their choice. And the entitlement that you might have at the Tableau dashboard level or at the data source level will simply flow into the Tableau dashboard and onto the Pixel Perfect report. Now, I told you today that the product supports Tableau Server and Tableau Cloud. We will soon be able to connect Pixel Perfect to Snowflake. That's something that is in our roadmap, which I'm going to showcase or share with you in a bit. Right? So this is the what is Pixel Perfect piece. Now we'll take a look at how we enable Pixel Perfect for Piper Sandler. And with this, I'm going to request Caden to share the Pixel Perfect success story at Piper Sandler. Caden, all yours.
Thank you, Anirban. Hello, everyone. As Anirban said, my name is Caden Cruz, and I work as the reporting lead for investment banking here at Piper Sandler. We're a mid-market investment bank based primarily out of Minneapolis with offices in New York and Houston as well. We began our journey with Pixel Perfect in 2020 when we realized the need for increased access to our Tableau reports. So while building out our data in Tableau worked great, we wanted to meet the end users, in our case, bankers, kind of where they were to help drive adoption. Bankers are very familiar with printing things out all the time, as well as working in Excel. And that's kind of where Pixel Perfect allowed us to take our reports. So exporting, things to PDF if they're hopping on a plane, and exporting to Excel if they're looking at, reconfiguring or making some quick tweaks or edits before sharing what comes out of this dashboard in a more broad sense. So once we brought USEReady into the mix, they were able to work quickly with our IT team here to integrate Pixel Perfect with our Tableau server. It was a super quick setup, super seamless on that end. And from there, I was able to customize the outputs to kind of as closely mirror our Tableau reports as possible. We didn't want people to feel like they were leaving Tableau or that they were even, looking at a different kind of report after they were leaving our dashboards. We wanted them to see exactly what they see on Tableau, in the PDF or in Excel. So the last major feature I kind of want to touch on is the automated sending. So we use the report scheduling and report bursting to send out, our exports, on a weekly basis. So we use banker dashboards go out to like over 200 of our senior bankers on a weekly basis. So automatically in the background, it's quietly pulling these down and sending them out, getting, our reports into these bankers' inboxes, all behind the scenes. And then they can quickly just check on where all their deals are at, what they've got coming up for the next week, and this works for a lot of our reports. And one of the ones that I'll show with you guys today is staffing. But as a whole, we're trying to limit the amount of, time our bankers are doing in manual reporting, the amount of time it takes to pull things for our leadership team and just kind of build that accessibility to our reports. So I'll go ahead and share my screen here and we can walk through what one of our dashboards at Piper Sandler will look like. All right, hopping in here. This is our staffing report. So this is saying, what bankers are on which deals and how much work are they really doing on a weekly basis. So this is super important information for our staffers and senior bankers to know who's available right now to work on the next deal, as well as who's swamped and probably needs a hand. So looking, at the report, we have three main aspects to it. So this is the by deal kind of stacked bar chart. And then this is the same data just broken out by bankers. We anonymized obviously all of the data here. And then at the bottom, you can see all the bankers and all the deals that they are working on if you wanted to look at a banker specific level. Some cool aspects to the report. So if you're a member of the consumer team and you pulled this report, you would automatically be launched into this consumer window. And if you were going to export it, it's going to keep the filtering, it's going to keep what you can see on this report intact. So the filtering aspect and exporting is huge. It takes a ton of time off of the banker's hands as they go through. So looking at the report we built, we kind of mirror the title and the formatting, as well as you can get this stacked bar chart, and then as you go through, it looks almost identical to what you're seeing on the Tableau side in this PDF output. And then this is the report that you would be using as a staffer. If you were heading into a meeting, you could just quickly print this out and drop into it. It's also exportable, easily to Excel, where you can see, we're not going to go as fancy. We're not going to do the stacked bar chart, but if you just want to see the data in, different tabs and kind of work with this, this is definitely another way we want to unblock our bankers and help them see data faster and quicker in that same format. The last thing I'll touch on, is what this would look like if it was scheduled. So we go through, as I mentioned, a bunch of different sends. And the cool thing is, once you set up all the filters, so in this case, the consumer group, you could even go into the various sector or even, the office you wanted to see. Once you schedule that send, it's going to lock those filters in. So then if you've got a weekly send, it's going to be the same every week. It's going to keep those filters, update the data, keep all the formatting. So what this looks like when it comes in an email, we've set it up to look, something like this. So in our case, it's going to bring the attachment is the PDF. We link them back to the Tableau dashboard if they want to look at the report themselves, play with the filters, work on that. And then using our kind of signature down here to better, personalize the send and make it feel like it's coming more from a person rather than from just an automated send. So a super, super helpful, functionality that we use all the time. And you can see the report is going to end up looking, exactly how we saw it. And you can change, all of the titles, all of the formatting. It's super customizable from our end as we kind of go about this process. So happy to answer, any questions you guys would have here at the end and talk through our process more. But those are kind of the biggest ways that we use Pixel Perfect to kind of open up our reports and our formatting to a wide variety of different outputs and use cases. I'll pass it back to Anirban to talk more about the roadmap.
Excellent story. Thank you, Kaden. Story is very neat and very interesting. So I'm going to take back my screen. By the way, I saw quite a few questions, and I tried to answer a few, but I've taken a note of all of them. We will answer them in a few minutes. So next, we are going to take a note of our roadmap. So what's coming down the quarter for Pixel Perfect? So here is what the roadmap of the product looks like. I'm also going to show you our USEReady Pixel Perfect website where you can easily get in touch with us. And on the website, we also share what is part of each and every release, meaning the release notes are published there. So in short, we have 4 releases every year, 1 release every quarter. In Q1 of this year, the most important release that we're all looking forward to is an upgrade to our report designer. So a little bit of story behind this particular use case. And if you see here specifically, we are trying to enable support for multiple foreign languages. So when we first rolled out Pixel Perfect in 2019, the product was instantly a very big hit in North America. We also started seeing use cases from APAC. And then we started seeing use cases in EMEA and Middle East. And specifically around EMEA and Middle East, we saw the need for very specific languages and support for those languages. So that's the capability that we are bringing it in within Pixel Perfect this year. Pixel Perfect's report designer this year. Also, along with it, we are planning to obviously make it more user friendly. So this is something that we'll be rolling it out soon. Then, as I was explaining, we see now use cases where customers who used to use a legacy tool, they were not happy with the tool. They like the modern visualization aspect of Tableau. They like the reporting piece of Tableau. The next question is, guys, all of this is good. Can you enable this tool so that now I can send out this report to not only 500 users, to not only 1,000 users, I want to send the report out to my all 50,000 users. So with this kind of scale distribution comes the need for an powerful backend. And in order to scale the backend on need basis, especially when we are doing on-premise deployments, we are containerizing the report engine, so which can be horizontally as well as vertically scalable. Then if you saw one use case that we have recently launched the capability to encrypt the report when it goes out with passwords. That is also a new capability that we have launched. Then obviously improvement wise, so when we do high volume transactions, we are working towards further optimizing how the report engine works at the backend. Then looking at Q2, for Q2, one of the major release aspect that we have is PPR's integration with Snowflake. I think there was a question that I saw on the chat around integration with Snowflake, which means now I can directly read data from Snowflake and push out the same reports. So that's a capability that we are close to launching it. Then as we continue to work with enterprise organizations, we are trying to make the deployment as hands-free as possible. So this is a continuous improvement item for us. So we continue to invest around deployment automation. Then subscription on demand for viewers. So now you saw the use cases that we have. When you have a report, only the creator or the explorer is able to send it. We are also trying to see what kind of help that we can do for the viewers so that they also can now enable their closed group with the reports that they have at hand. Otherwise, what they have to do today is get a view and then have a report to themselves, and then they send out to other users, right? So we are trying to build some capabilities for them. In Q2 improvement wise, we are trying to integrate Pixel Perfect report burst capability and see if you could have some trigger based off the health of the Tableau data refresh. So sometimes what you could have is the Tableau data refresh failed for some reason, and then the report stopped, right? So we are trying to build in some push and pull mechanism there. Log management is something will be a work in progress item. We want to make our logs more verbose so that even the business users could make sense of what is not okay or why did the report fail. So those kind of enhancements we continue to make. In Q3, we are looking at a capability around called Report Factory. So the idea behind it is Pixel Perfect, we are launching an API for Pixel Perfect. So once we launch this API, at that point, we are also thinking about capabilities where you can directly get the data of an API or from a data source or from multiple sources, and then have ready templates available and quickly get the data, marry it with a template and send it to the end users, right? Because now over the course of the last 4 to 5 years, we have seen about 1,500 plus use cases. So for most of standard use cases, we have a template ready. So the idea is to marry the template with the data and then quickly send out the data to the end user. Then notification capability. This is one capability that we have enabled for admins. So for example, a report was supposed to go out, something did not work. So we give those insights or understanding to the admins today. We also want to give some sort of insights or features where the creator or explorer could take some actions. So that's a capability that we want to launch in Q3. Areas around audit support, governance, how do we better manage the job history would be an enhancement item that we plan to roll out in Q3. Note the items in gray are improvement items. What we mean is they're already there. We're trying to better them. The items in this color are basically something that we're launching here. Then in Q4, we are also planning to launch an usage-based pricing model. it would be on the lines of pay-as-you-go model. Currently, Pixel Perfect has 3 pricing models. One is a core-based license model, which is something like an all-you-can-eat model. We have a user-based pricing model, and we have a template-based license model. In Q4, we are also looking at usage-based pricing model. Then we are trying to make some improvements to the schedule capability. Today, a lot of our users, we see them use a schedule functionality where they're sharing different variations of the same report per the filter values. We also want to bring in a similar capability where you can take a value from multiple parameters and then send out the report on the go. Then most interesting piece that we are all waiting for is we want to enable some generative AI capabilities to reporting, which means we are trying to automate the entire harmonization piece and the synthesization, how we synthesize the data, marry it with a template, and automate this piece. That's a capability that we plan to launch around Q4. And another important aspect is around job ownership, right? Say, for example, for most of our organizations typically have about 500 plus jobs that is running. Say one particular person who probably owned 20 jobs, they probably happen to leave the organization or move to another team. Now, what happens to those 20 jobs? Typically, in other BI tools, what we see is they typically have to again start a new job. There is no handover provisioning there. So within our the workflow itself, we are trying to add in job handover mechanism, right? Where if person A leaves, you simply have to transfer the job from person A to person B, right? That's capable that we're planning to launch this year, or planning to enhance the workflow a little bit. So as you can see on the right-hand side are the broad themes for this year would be around deployment automation, audit and governance, API support. We want to launch a proper cloud native application which is usage-based, and then finally the usage-based pricing, right? And if you go to our website, let me just take a quick get out of this. If you go to our website, UserReady, and under UserReady, under products, you'll have to go to pixelperfect.tableau. And this is where you obviously you can first of all click on this button to set up a time with us. Here is everything that you need to know about the product. Everything that I have explained or discussed today, you will get to see here. We have also given infographics where you can interact and understand how this extension works. Then all the key use cases that I explained, you could also see via infographic here. Then we have given the case studies, video tutorials from several customers, like use cases like Kaden shared with us today. Similar use cases are also here in our portfolio that you can pick and choose. Then this is where we have the software release page. If you just click on this release page, you will see a release every quarter that is going to come out. And then all the release notes, meaning what are the features, functionalities, and any bugs that we have taken care of will be shared here. Right? So I would encourage all of you to take a look at this site. So that's one avenue how you can reach out to us. The second one, and very popular, is so we are one of the most popular products or extensions in the Tableau Exchange. So you can directly come to the Tableau Exchange page, search for Pixel Perfect. And here, again, we have all the information. Most importantly, we have given you access to our demo Tableau server. So you can just log into the server using the credentials. And we have a few ready dashboards available there. You can just log into that server, click on the dashboard, and experience how the Pixel Perfect works. All right, let me come back. The next piece is how can you engage with us? So starting from an POC or an engagement, we have all the options. So first, we request you to reach out to us. Like I mentioned, you can come to our website or drop an email to ppr support@useready.com. We can quickly engage with you, understand your problem statement, do a quick demo for you. And once you have understood the use cases, we can do a quick lightweight POC. And from a typical 4-week POC, we can roll out a broad engagement plan with you. Our typical goal for engagements is to go live within 4 to 5 business weeks. What happens within a POC is something like this. From a week 1, where we do the kickoff, understand the key business use case, to onboarding the client during week 2, then training and enablement in week 3, and then finally working on the key use cases, ensuring that they go live by engaging in these sessions that we like to call as doctor sessions. Now note, for the POC, also we can host the product within an environment, or we have ready POC environments where you can simply click in, come in and get onboarded to our platform. Whether you're on Tableau server or Tableau cloud, we are very quick to start with this POC. So we can start the POCs within a few 24 to 40 hours of notice. And then once you do a POC, you can gradually move to the engagement. Again, typically 6 weeks. What we do in the engagement is typically similar to a POC. You will get first-hand experience of the tool. It is just that when we do an engagement, we do put in more emphasis in the training and enablement part of Pixel Perfect. Obviously, the way we have built it, we have tried to keep it very simple. Into a license model itself, we have baked in the product support model, so all the users can come in, and we will not only train you, we'll also be there all along the journey of the lifetime of the product license, wherein you can reach out to our support team via help desk. We have a ticketing desk, or we could engage with you via emails, or you can set up virtual sessions with you. So that's how you can reach out to us and how we will engage with you. Now, finally, we will start taking the question and answers. I will ask Michelle to share the question answers that we have seen so far.
Great. Thank you so much, Anirban and Kaden. You guys have both shared a lot of really great information today, so we really appreciate it. Just a couple of questions that have come in. Again, we're going to do our best to answer all the questions that have come in during this live program, but if we aren't able to get to your question directly today, we will certainly reach out to you directly after the program. The first question up is, in the Excel demo, you had shown how Pixel Perfect can export a cross tab directly from Tableau into an Excel file. My question is whether or not the data object is an image or is it actual data point?
Great question. So I feel happy that I think you guys were looking at this demo closely. So if I can get back to the demonstration. So I think this is what I had shared with you, right? So we had this particular dashboard or workbook with 3 dashboards. And then I clicked on the button to download, I think, this file. So like I mentioned to you, these are actually data points. These are not images. So you can now interact with it. We also have organizations, especially in the risk space or in the retail space, where they have this data scientists or machine learning engineers build further models on top of it, which means the data out of Pixel Perfect, you can now directly ingest into your any other tool that you use for further processing or building your models. So this is actual data, not images. Thanks for asking the question.
Right. Thank you, Anirban. All right, next up. Can you talk about the report factory item in the product roadmap?
Yeah. Yes, I think this was the item. I think that for everyone. So this is the item. So like I said, the idea of report factory is we are going to open up the Pixel Perfect API. Along with that, at that point, we will be able to read data from multiple data sources, and it could be an API as well, or it could be another data source, or it could be a worksheet, or it could be a mix of everything. And we would still be able to get data from these multiple sources and create one report out of it. Also, we are trying to see that now, since we have worked with multiple industries in multiple shape, size, and form, we also have some ready templates. For example, someone says, I need a LIBOR report. Right? We already know what the template should look like. So we can take the base template, get the data, and quickly marry it and send it out to the user. Right? So essentially, it's a report in a factory model. We are trying to bring our knowledge, get the data from multiple sources, and quickly get it out. So that's the idea behind Report Factory. This is something that we're planning to launch around Q3.
Great. Thank you,
Michelle, we can take the next question.
Sure. On a similar topic with the roadmap, in connection to GBQ data warehouses on the roadmap, or I'm sorry, is connection to GBQ data warehouses on the roadmap?
Yeah, specifically GBQ data source, we have not factored that in, but I think when you open up this data, report factory use case, the way we are planning to build this connectors, we can look up any source as long as the source opens up so that we can access the data. I think we should be able to meet your use case. I would request you to please get in touch with us. We want to further get information on the GBQ, how it is set up, how to just get the data out of it. And then this report factory use case could also work for this GPQ data warehouse use case.
Thanks, Anirban. Next up, when you say connect to Snowflake, do you mean if Tableau is getting its data from Snowflake, USEReady is not ready for it? It can only work with SQL Server backends. If so, does that also include Synapse?
Yeah, I think I might have spent a couple of minutes on this, but let me explain this again. I think this is the use case. So what we're trying to attempt is, we are trying to see if we can directly go to Snowflake, read the data from Snowflake, and create a report out of it. So that's direct connection to Snowflake that we're looking at. So Michelle, we can take the next question.
You got it. All right. Does Pixel Perfect store any data from the Tableau dashboards? If so, how is that data secured?
Great question. So our source of the data is the Tableau worksheet, and obviously security is important. So I will not dive too much into what the backend of Pixel Perfect looks like, but this is at a high level, you could call it a system architecture. So the way to read the architecture is from left to right. So if you see, these are our actors. So everyone who has a Tableau license already becomes an user of Pixel Perfect, meaning all the privileges that they have flow onto Pixel Perfect. They log on to Pixel Perfect via a secured HTTPS line. It is browser based, and then they log into Tableau. So as soon as they click on the button, what happens is Pixel Perfect first picks up the username password for the Tableau license, and then checks with Tableau whether this person is an authenticated user or not. You have several means of authentication, starting from pad-based tokens or connected apps. We use all the several authentication means. Once that person is authenticated, then we try to understand what the user's request is. Typically, the request will come in the form of a name and value pair. The name will be the name of this person. The value would be the request, the name of the report that they're requesting for. Once those requests is received, Pixel Perfect then quickly reaches out to again Tableau here, gets the data from Tableau, and then processes all the data, whether it is just an on-demand report or it's a report bursting. All these microservices are there in the backend to process this, and then we quickly send out the data or send out the report to the end users in the popular formats to email. Now back to your main question, right? So do we save any data? The answer is no. We take the data at runtime, marry it with the template, and send it back. We don't save the data as such within the tool. We do save the metadata. So say for the end of the year, you might want to know, okay, how many users consume this report? What reports are mostly popular? How many rows went out on which day? Which dashboard is being consumed the most? Which are the dashboards not consumed at all? All this information is can be made available to the admin. And we have a very specific view for the admin, which looks something like this. So we have a view called the admin view. And if you see here in this view, we have this analytics tab. This is where you will be able to see all the data, right? The report usage by date and time. Note, this is my dev box. So here it's just me. I play the role of the admin and play the role of the other users. So it's just me here. Here I get to see all the reports, all that went out, all the user distribution. In this case, I logged in on this user. Most of the reports were sent by this user, where this is the other role that I play. I have not used this role too much. But then I could see the top 10 users and the bottom 10 users. I could see the top 10 dashboards, bottom dashboards. So this kind of analytics we make it available for the admin. Plus, you could get a dump of all this data just by clicking on this analytics report button. And if you see here, we have the notifications feature, just like I mentioned for admin. So you get to see what is happening at the backend. And admin can also sign up for all these reports. Right? Just by clicking here, the admin just has to enter the email address. They can get all these data points. All right, Michelle, let's take the next question.
You got it. All right, so the next one is, if the same report needs to be sent to 5 clients with data filtered to that client, can Pixel Perfect do that? Can it also export the name, example, dashboard _client name _date.csv? In addition, Can PowerPoint presentation templates be created and replace charts and text with the values in the dashboard?
Yeah. So the best way to handle it is if you have this, I imagine all your clients will have a similar looking template. It is just that the data would vary with their based on their entitlements. We could set these templates by filter value, and based on the values, filter value points, we can send other reports to the end users. So in short, the use case can be supported. I would again encourage you to please reach out to us. Here is our email address. We would love to understand your use case better and showcase how we can solve it. We might have some examples already ready so that we can show you how it works. But use case wise, we should be able to handle it.
Thanks, Anirban.
Quite a few
All right.
questions.
Yeah, well, let's take one more. I know we're a little over time. So one additional question that came in is, okay, so Tableau can connect to GBQ data warehouse and USEReady can report off of the Tableau worksheet. The actual connection between USEReady and GBQ, Google BigQuery, is not a must-have. Do I understand that correctly? If this is how
Yes.
it's done for Snowflake?
For Snowflake, it could be via Tableau, or we could directly look up to Snowflake. Yeah. Again, let me quickly summarize. So for Google, for GBQ, the data can flow onto the Tableau worksheet, and from Tableau worksheet, we Pixel Perfect can read the data and produce the report. And for Snowflake, we are attempting to read directly from Snowflake. That's a small change. Okay.
Great.
I hope that answered your question.
Great. Thank you so much, Anirban. And I know we've gone a little bit over time. We really, really appreciate you guys sticking around to ask some of your questions and get some answers for those. We'd like to go ahead and obviously thank our guest speaker, Hayden, for sharing his experience today. And on behalf of USEReady and Piper Sandler, thank you all for joining our webinar today. We encourage you to reach out to us with any additional questions that you might have, and we look forward to working together with you to transform your enterprise analytics and reporting journey. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Kaden.